Hello friends, welcome to the 8th chapter in Democratic Politics, Challenges to Democracy. During the last half of 20th century, democracy became the most dominant and legitimate form of government. As a result of the third wave of democratization, the world witnessed an extraordinary and unprecedented expansion of the number of democracies. Moreover, the world is currently changing and there are various new threats to the democratic countries. Today, we must admit that democratic regimes are faced with numerous challenges that threaten to undermine their very legitimacy. Of course, not all countries have completed and consolidated their transition to ideal democracies. When we look at the different democratic countries in the world, they are facing different challenges because democratic countries face the foundational challenge of making the transition to democracy from another form of government and then instituting democratic governments. For instance, a military dictatorship to democracy or monarchy to democracy, etc. We can see the examples like the countries, they are France, Myanmar, Brazil, Mexico, etc. Because in France, we have seen the country changed from a monarchy to democracy. Myanmar is a same example in which monarchy changed to democracy. Brazil and Mexico are the examples of transition from a military dictatorship to democracy. Most of the established democracies face another challenge, that is the challenge of expansion. When a democracy is already transformed to another country, there will be a challenge of expansion. This involves applying the basic principle of democratic government across all the regions. Different social groups and various institutions also will have the same challenge of expansion. Gender equality is another concern of expansion. The third challenge is the deepening or strengthening of democracy. It is faced by every democracy in one form or another. This involves strengthening of the institutions and practices of democracy. In general terms, it usually means strengthening those institutions that help people's participation and control. Apart from this, there are many other challenges in democracy such as corruption and inefficiency, role of antisocial elements, then growing economic and social inequalities among people, casteism and communalism. Now, let's discuss about political reforms. Political reforms are necessary to meet the challenges. Therefore, democratic or political reforms are the remedies for the challenges in democracy. The following guidelines are essential for democratic reforms. First and foremost, discouraging legal ways. In order to stop the wrong practices, it is essential to frame new laws. For example, in cricket, a change in rules for LBW decisions helped to reduce negative batting tactics, and the quality of cricket also improved through such new laws. Second guideline is framing new laws carefully. For the success of democracy, new laws to be implemented carefully. There should not be any negative impact of the new laws against the growth of democracy. The best laws are those which empower people to carry out democratic reforms. Right to Information Act in India is a good example of the law that empowers the people to find out what is happening in the government and act as watchdogs of democracy. Right to Information Act of 2005 mandates timely response to citizens' requests for government information. This law was passed by government and came into force on 12th October 2005. Third guideline is empowering people. The most important concern of the democratic reform should be to increase and improve the quality of political participation by ordinary citizens. Any proposal for political reforms should think not only about what is good solution, but also about who will implement it and how. Next, let's discuss about refining democracy. As you studied earlier, Democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. The rulers elected by the people must take all the major decisions. Elections must offer a choice and fair opportunity to the people to change the current rulers. The choice and opportunity should be available to all the people on all equal basis. And there should be an exercise of choice which should lead to a government limited by basic rules of the Constitution and citizens' rights. Therefore, citizens should have their democratic rights as the right to vote, stand in elections, and form political organizations. They also should have some social and economic rights that a democracy should offer to its citizens. In addition, power sharing is the spirit of democracy, and power sharing between governments and social groups is necessary in a democracy. Democracy should respect the aspirations of minority, and the majority should not dominate over the minority. In order to refine democracy, caste, religion, and gender-based discrimination should be avoided. With this, we conclude the chapter, The Challenges to Democracy. Thanks for watching.